Good morning. Happy Friday. Happy coffee and a card. This is my first sips of coffee this morning, so I'm ready. I hope you are too. It feels good. We have a dreary, rainy day here in Catonsville, Maryland. For those of you who might be new, I'm Lorraine Sish, and this is Coffee and a Card. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. I go live just about most Fridays at this time, 10 o'clock Eastern. And I'd love for you to check back and make me part of your regular week. So we do a card, but a lot of my regular followers know that that turns into more. Usually I like to show you different options. I like to show you how you can extend the idea of what I'm showing you, whether it's a card layout or a technique. I like switching things up a little bit and just hoping to inspire you. And you guys inspire me too, because I ask for suggestions or you have great ideas to either share here live or to put on my Facebook page later on or on the YouTube channel in a comment. So please check back, and I hope you try these projects, whatever I do for you on Fridays. I hope you try them yourself too. Okay, so I'm going to ask if you are on, just say a good morning, say hello. I like to see where you're from, if you don't mind sharing. Hi, Debbie, good morning. Where is spring? I know. Well, it is spring. I'm going to put up on Facebook some of the beautiful trees that we've had here in Maryland. Now, Debbie, your spring's going to be a lot later where you are. Good morning, Michelle. Nice to see you on. Excellent. And hi, Susan. Good morning. So, my daffodils are past peak. The flowering trees were just gorgeous. They are past peak also. But actually, the red buds are full right now, and the dogwoods are coming out. So the cherry blossoms, the other fruit trees, the weeping cherries, the I guess are pear trees, whatever. Those are turning green leaves now, so the flowers are dropping. Looks like snow sometimes when they just all flutter. And what else is that? My tulips. I don't have a lot of tulips, but we had a couple, and they did spread last time because the deer did not eat them. My husband was vigilant in trying to get that deer repellent on there, and the one or two that we had survived last year, and now they have multiplied a bit. So I'm hoping we can keep them. And my primrose are starting to come up a little bit too. So they're not doing as well here in Maryland as they did in New York, but I'm working on it. I'm hoping. And I'm hoping soon to start a vegetable garden with a neighbor. We're sharing a plot in a community garden. So that should be fun too. So a lot of some fresh veggies for the summer. I love a fresh tomato. That's like my favorite thing. Just sliced tomato on a piece of toast or an English muffin or sandwich, a little mayonnaise, salt and pepper. That's good. I'm all good. Can you tell I'm hungry too? I'm going to sip a little more coffee, and let's see if we get a few more people to say hello. Thinking of summer, I think of the beach, the ocean. I'm not a big beach or ocean fan, but I do love it when I do go. And of course, fresh seafood. Oh my gosh. Here in Maryland, it's all about the crabs. And in New York, we did more lobster. We didn't do crabs. Certainly not blue crabs like people do here. But we did do lobster, and that was yummy. And so I'm going to be using the Ocean Friends. I'm gonna switch my screen here and make it half and half. There we go. Ocean Friends collection, which is retiring soon. So I didn't get a chance to check the inventory this morning, but I think it was, as of last night, it was still available. So Ocean Friends stamp set, the dies. The Soft Waves 3D embossing folder is not retiring. That's going to stick around. And the Friends of the Ocean designer paper is also going to go. Now, the last chance list, you can see the things that are going to be retiring. And it might look a little odd, but I think this is just an easier way for Stampin' Up! To use up their inventory. Typically, as you know, the stamp set and dies usually can be purchased at a 10% discount. On the last chance list, they're not. And in fact, I'm not even sure that either of these are discounted, but sometimes you might see a stamp set and a die that, excuse me, oh, excuse me, stamp set and dies that the bundle is not discounted, but separately they are. So if you do see a bundle that you like, check the individual prices separately. Sometimes they're half price, sometimes they're 40% off or 30% off. It will probably be cheaper to get them individually than as the bundle. Okay, that's if they are discounted. If the individual ones are not discounted, then it would be cheaper to do the bundle. So just double check those options before you order. So yeah, Debbie loves the paper. Oh, hi Joan. Nice to see you from Minnesota. Are you an hour difference from me or 2? Probably 1 hour, right? I don't know where that 1 hour to 2 hour time change is. Yeah, Minnesota would be just 1 hour because Eastern Texas is just 1 hour, right? Yeah. Anyway, whatever. Good morning. Tomato sandwich. Yes. Yum, yum, yum. All right. So I'm going to share with you a card that, like these papers, bright and cheery. And then I'll show you a couple others that are using the same products. Okay. All right. So let me get my pieces out here. And I'll show you. I do not use my phone. I'll get that away. All right. So let me first show you quickly the Friends of the Ocean designer paper. I'm going to switch my camera. And one more. Oh, come on. Okay, I'm trying to, this happened last time, didn't it? I tried to slide my other one over. There we go. Got it. Okay, so this is the Friends of the Ocean paper. Now, if you're not a lobster or crab or an ocean-themed person, not to worry if you like these colors because the backs have really, really fun patterns to them. So here's one that I love. This little hexagon shape on there in the lighter and the darker orange patterns with the dots. That's a lot of fun. I'll show you the big sheets here. So you have a page that has all crabs and lobsters, and the dies match up with that so that you can die cut those out. You don't have to fussy cut them. So these lobsters and crabs match up with these here. Of course, you can stamp them also and have it a little bit of a different look. This is kind of cool because it has some more shading in there. All right, so then the back, these triangular pattern, like a check with triangles in there. All right, so there's the same thing again. And then you've got the starfish or the sea stars, whatever you like to call them. And the back is striped with some dots in there too. That's fun. Melon Mambo. Okay, this is pumpkin pie. And in here is some a little bit of coral mixed in there and a lot of different colors. This sea stars, really nice. You have, well, I'll show you all the colors in there. So you have little squiggly lines here. And then you have more ocean friends. You have the squids, the seahorses, and the shrimp, and the pufferfish, Just lots of fun. I love it. Love it. Great for kids, but grown-ups too. And that the back of that one is the orange. So these two, at first glance, might look similar, but they are different animals. Okay, this one has jellyfish, clownfish, hermit crab, angelfish, the crab, and the lobster. I mean, the lobster, no crab on it. Okay, and this one has the crab and your other ocean friends. So you have a variety. And look at this ombre color. Isn't that just beautiful? Love it. So you can use either just the orange or just the, I guess that's melon mambo, or you can choose something in the middle where you get more of the ombre. And then the back of that is kind of like this little fan design on there. Very pretty. Hi, Crystal. Hi, Lois. Hi, Joanne. Good morning. And then you have your corals. Okay, and seagrass, which there are dies for a coral fan and the seagrass. And then the back of that is this rectangular design. So, like I said, if you didn't feel that you would use the ocean theme, and these are more of the same. You have a lot to choose from on the back. So if you love the bright colors, then you have these fun things to work with. So that's one thing about the designer paper, Stampin' Up, always two-sided, and unless it's a specialty foil textury thing, then it might just be one-sided. But here are your colors. Here's the color palette. You have Lemon Lime Twist, Berry Burst, Calypso Coral, we'll be that out of the way, Melon Mambo, Coastal Cabana. Let me separate these a little bit because then they just look better. And pumpkin pie. And it's pumpkin pie that we're going to use today as the base. But look at those nice bright colors. Real nice and summery, right? Actually, no, that's not Coastal Cabana. That's Seaside Spray. I wrote on the back here. We have it, a Summer Splash, Summer Splash. Okay, so it's like a darker Coastal Cabana. Not quite Bermuda Bay, but not quite the Coastal Cabana. It's a little darker there. So those are your colors. Fun, fun, fun. All right, let's put those samples aside. Take another sip of coffee. Put my coffee aside so I don't spill it. Hello, hello. Good morning, everybody. Arizona, 3 hours behind us. Oh, okay. You're still in Arizona, Debbie. Oh, okay. I thought you'd be coming home by now. I don't know. I hope you're having fun. Sounds like it's going to be a little warmer. Although you said it's dreary today, right? Okay, so here's our collection of things that we're using. We need a piece of 8.5 by 5.5 cardstock. That's going to be the pumpkin pie. We're going to score it at 4 1/4. All right. And if you want a full PDF of this card that I'm showing you, then make sure you're subscribed to my email list because I will send that out. I'll give you a little time. I'll send it out later tonight. So, and today is Friday, April 11th. So that's our card base. Our next layer is going to be this sheet of designer paper at 4 by 5 1/4. And then we need some basic white, same size, because that's going to be on the inside. When you have a colored card, you want a white piece inside to be able to write on. It looks nicer. And then we'll need 2 pieces the same size for the front of this card. And these are both 3 inches by 4 inches. All right, so this one, actually, I did use Coastal Cabana here, just because that's what I grabbed. Okay, so it's not the Summer Splash, but anyway, it works because that's the only blue that's going to be on this card. All right, so that's just what we're going to have. And then I'm going to use 2 of these crabs. So I'm going to die cut these little fellas out. And, oh, I have my machine right here. And real easy. I have my plates here. If you're not familiar with the Stampin' Up! Cut and Emboss machine, your plates are labeled. You have your formulas right here as to which plates to use using thin dies, which is what we're using now. This formula for the standard embossing folders, the ones that aren't so thick. These are for the 3D embossing folders. So you don't have to remember, although when you do it often, you do remember. But if you are new or you forget, and then you have your plate, you have 2 lucite plates, which are number 3. This one is quite well used, and I might be retiring this one soon. Retiring it meaning this is the one I always use on the top. This one is getting pretty well etched. So if I were doing something very detailed, like you could see, I was using this for the Spotlight in Nature circles that have like that little, those little holes around the outside. They might start getting stuck in this etching, or it might not cut as well the first round. I might have to go back and forth. But for something big like this, where it's just a frame going around the image, it's going to be fine. When I feel like not getting the results I want from this one, I'm going to put my better plate on the bottom, and I'll just use this one on the top because it's not going to matter so much. Except sometimes when you have your etching and you are running something through, if it's really tight and the etching is really bad, you might see that on your cardstock or whatever you're cutting out. Something that's shaded like this, you might not notice it. Or if it's something that's supposed to be textured, like the rough crab shells, then maybe it wouldn't matter so much. But if you're doing a plain piece of cardstock and this etching is being pressed onto it, you're going to maybe see some of that etching on your cardstock. So just kind of be aware of that. Just a little helpful hint today. Okay, so I still think I can get some good use out of the bottom there. I'm going to use my crab. There's only 1 die cut for this, so I'm about to run it twice. That's okay. And some of the smaller dies in the Stampin' Up! Collections, they will give you more than 1. Like if you're looking at little flowers, it might give you more than 1 so that you don't have to run a million times for just to get like a few little flowers. Right, I'm using my washi tape just to hold it on, and this washi tape I just keep on the edge of my machine here because I use it over and over. As long as it's just a little sticky, it's going to hold my dies in place so it doesn't shift as I'm rolling it through. All right, so run that. And when it's not so sticky, it doesn't stick to my paper quite as much. So that's a good thing. Hi, Elizabeth. Good to see you. Did I ask about Minnesota? Oh, okay. Thanks, Debbie. All right. Gotcha. You have that reference. Wonderful. Okay, so there's the orange crab. Is he cute? So cute. All right, now this is the one, the blue crab that's covered in Old Bay. Does anybody out there not know what I mean when I say Old Bay? Does anybody know does anybody not know what Old Bay seasoning is? I had a funny story. I met somebody once who's from Maryland and went to camp, I don't know, someplace else, upstate New York or something like that, maybe, when she was a kid, teenager. And I don't know, they were making tuna salad or something like that. And so then she says to them, okay, so where's the Old Bay? And they said, oh, well, you have to go down. It's like a few miles down the road that way. They had no clue what the seasoning was because around here, people use Old Bay on everything. It is good on tuna. I like to mix up my tuna seasonings. Sometimes Old Bay, sometimes some other things. Sometimes a little bit of pickles or relish in there. Go. Here's my odd little crab. And there's got a friend. Got the two of them there. Very cute. And make sure you have a good system for your dies. You don't want to just leave them thrown nilly-willy. I like to try to put them right back on my magnet sheet when I can, or have a little container for the small ones and just toss them in there so they don't go flying or end up getting pushed into the garbage. That's not fun. I've been there, done that. Okay, so now this piece we're going to emboss with that embossing folder. I am really making the effort these days to not let my room get so messy. It's hard, right? Trying to put things away when I use them. The problem is I put them away and then I need them again right away. So that's the predicament I get in. Okay, so the soft waves, it's a 6x6. It's 3D embossing. So I need just my base plate. And down here it tells me with the gray plate. Okay, it's a thick plate. I'm going to put my paper in there. Now I'm going to think about how I want it because this is going to go on my card vertically and I want my waves to go horizontally. So I'm going to turn it this way. So that the waves will come out this way. All right. Always, always, always put the hinge side of your embossing folder through the machine first because there's a lot of pressure as it tightens here and the pressure can not get stuck or it can release on the open end. So if you're doing it this way, it's going to push the folder this way and it may crack the hinge over here. Okay, I did have that happen once at a class and somebody said, oh, I didn't know. I don't have to do that on mine. Well, she was lucky, but so just keep that in mind. But I love this soft waves. Really nice. Okay. Machine is done. Embossing is done. Look at this. Isn't that nice? I just love it. It could be wind. It doesn't have to be waves. It could just be something with a texture, because you want the texture. Okay, it's all good. I take my label maker and I put the name of it on the folder because otherwise there is no name of it on this folder. It's just easier for me to see. And I put it back in my bag here. What I've done was I've cut the top of this paper insert. I cut a little top off here. So when I put this back in there, I can still see my label. All right. Otherwise, the name is small and it's down here. And when I have them stacked like in a file. It's hard for me to see way down there. So having it up on top here with my label maker makes it a lot easier for me. So there you go. Another tip number 2 or 3, who knows? You get a lot of them here. As we go along, I'll share those with you. All right, let me start building the card here. I'm going to glue my layer on. Hard to cover up these fun guys on the back though, isn't it? But because my big crabs are going to be featured, they would get lost in the sauce if I use the other side. Wanted something a little more plain on the front. Okay. I am going to choose the Hello Friend. Now, here's something else to remember. I've mentioned this in the past. The front of the stamp cases aren't always the true size of the stamp. So just kind of keep that in mind. These critters are much bigger because if they were full size, they wouldn't fit on the image on the cover. So always look down here. It says these images on this one is particularly at 75%. Sometimes it's 80, sometimes it's 90, sometimes it's 85. So you never know. Just keep that in mind. Like if you're looking, for something for a card, you say, oh, that's a great size. I'll use that. But then you open it up and then look how big they are. Much bigger, right? So just remember that. I've gotten stuck that way. And I said, oh, this is perfect. And then I take it out and get ready. And no, it was not the same size. Okay, so Hello Friend. I'll just pick that up with my block. And we're going to stamp that along the bottom edge here in the Melon Mambo. Hi, Lydia. Good morning. My Maryland friend and downline. Okay, and Elizabeth is on the Daisy team. Okay, so down below, I'm going to put this down at the bottom. Hello, friend. Kind of nice because you got the two crabby friends hanging out with each other, right? I'm going to clean this guy off. And then speaking of cleaning, I'm going to give you another tip here, something that I had heard of, but I just hadn't done. And then last night I was looking at my blocks and saying, oh, gee, these blocks are really messy. They just get, a little bit of glue on them maybe, get sticky, they get a little dull, you get your fingerprints on them and whatever. So I had heard this trick and I did it and look how nice and shiny. So I'm going to show you that right now before I go on. I'm going to take one of my dirtier blocks. All right. Okay, you see? Maybe if I put it behind something. Okay, that's kind of messy and dirty. Oh, there you go. You can see stickiness on there, and all messy. I always keep handy water wipes. My daughter used them for the kids. They are 99.9% water, so there's no other chemicals or fragrances or oils or anything on there, no alcohol. So they're just water. Now this one happens to be dried up. So I keep the wet ones over there sealed, but toward the end, they get dried up after a while. Hand sanitizer and a cloth. I like these because they are pretty lint free. So you don't want something that like a tissue or paper towel the fiber's gonna break down and get lint all over your blocks, because then your stamps will not stick well. Hand sanitizer. Has anybody else done this before? I had done it the first time last night. It works because there is a little tiny bit of alcohol in here and some glycerin, and it really gets over the blocks nicely. And that stickiness comes right off and it really gets to shine. It was so easy. This one has a little bit of fragrance too. And this is just, I think, the store brand. This is just, I think that's CVS, this single Up and Up symbol. No, just a store brand. Doesn't have to be anything fancy. Okay. All shiny and good as new. All right, see that? And you can use it again and again. I'm just keep this in my drawer and use it for the rest of my blocks later on. Spring cleanup time. We should do a whole video just on spring cleanup, right? Okay. All right. I'm going to glue my inside so I don't lose that. Get that done. All right, then we're going to make this Coastal Cabana piece look even more like waves I'm going to tear it and I'm going to layer it. So it's going to look like a couple waves flowing over each other. So I'm going to, eventually this is going to be lined up at the top here. So I'm going to tear about out here, and I'm tearing upward with my right hand, um, so that I see the fibers here. If I tear down, well, you'll see it's going to look like this part. So I'll show you the difference. I'm going to purposely not tear straight because I want that rough texture and the curve of the waves rolling in. So that's going to go there. And now look at the difference here. If you can see that on the camera, you don't see that the inside layers of the paper here. You're only seeing that top layer. If I turn it over, you see how you can see more of that roughness in there. Okay, so you can, and it isn't, the color does go all the way through the Stampin' Up cardstock, but because it's rough, it catches the light differently, so it does look like it's a little bit lighter tone. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just flipping that over, and I'm going to layer it underneath here, so it looks like we have two waves rolling in, and it adds just a little bit more texture over there. Okay, so I'm going to figure out where I want, and I'm going to put the smaller piece first. Okay, when something's textured, make sure you use enough glue to get on the pieces that are raised so it holds well. Okay, and put that down like that. It is going to come right to the edge. There's not going to be a border on this one. And then this I'm going to align with the top edge, and then we'll have those extra look of the waves. Spring cleaning happens. Joan, I like that. Yeah. Sometimes they end up being one and the same, right? I don't know. I get in my moods. Sometimes I'm like, I can't deal with this right now. But other times it's like, all right, I got to get moving. I got to take care of this. So I have a whole room downstairs that I have to do that with. It's kind of one of our spare rooms, and it is the dump all room. It's where I have extra baking dishes and extra table linens and kids' toys and who knows what else. That's the place where it goes. All right, so here we are. We have that. Now we're just going to put our little crabby friends on there. And because there's Mellow Mambo down here and there's some of the pink here, I'm going to put the orange one there just to have some contrast. And then this guy's going to go up here. Now I can make him face that way, but he looks a little funny going down, I think. So I'm going to have them both go the same way. Upward, rather, that is. I'll angle them a little differently. We're going to put them on with dimensional dots. There are very few cards that I make that don't have dimensional dots on them, right? Okay, so I'm going to use both the regular and the mini, I believe. Well, actually, here's some edges that I think I'll use up. That will work because I want dimensional little ones on these claws, and these little, I guess they're like half hexagons. Yeah, they're half hexagons because the dimensionals are hexagon, right? So those will work nicely on the crab claws. Just cut them up there. And small one on each side and large one in the middle. That should do it. This guy gets the same treatment. Ta-da! Perfect. Okie dokie. I like to pull the backings off both of them before adhering them so that I can align them together. And then, see where they go. It's so cute. Oh my goodness. I wish I had more time to play with these guys. I'm going to turn them a little bit that way. And I don't mind if they're overlapping a little bit because you know what? Crabs do that. When they're all together, they're just climbing all over each other. All right. And they don't have to stay exactly within this piece because this is going on top of that layer. So if they're hanging off here a little bit, it's okay. Quite all right. Here we go. Is that not adorable? Ah. Okay, now this gets up on dimensionals as well. And like I said, I don't like to be stingy, so I put 3 on each side. And because this isn't too long, I'll just kind of put that there. We'll do 8 instead of 9. What's a big deal, right? You want your card to be sturdy, not look flimsy. Let's roll these guys off. Oh, hello, Linda. What glue do I use? I have Tombow multi-purpose glue. Stampin' Up sells it, but you can also get it in craft stores. Okay, then I'm going to put this right here, right in the center. And then we're going to decorate with some of these Sunny Day iridescent dots. And I like them because I liked having this color on the card because it looked kind of like bubbles of the in the ocean, right? So, hey, Wisconsin, welcome. Hey, Rita, how do I get the set? There isn't any Stampin' Up around me. Okay, Rita, thanks for asking. Stampin' Up is not a recorder store. Okay, Stampin' Up. I'm a Stampin' Up demonstrator. So if you go to stampinup.com, and then you would be prompted to search for a demonstrator, you can order online. So I do have, let me put a banner up here. Okay, so this here is my link to my online store with Stampin' Up. So if you go there, you can do a search for the products that you want, or you can just look at what the specials are. And like I said, Stampin' Up does require you to choose a demonstrator to order through. It's kind of like Tupperware or Pampered Chef, that kind of thing. So I'm going to put a bubble up here and a bubble here. So here, Rita, if you have any questions or you want to talk further, you can email me, all right? And I'd be happy to chat with you. It's Lorraine at stampwithlorraine.com is my email address. I can show you that one as well. All right, so doesn't that look cute with they look like little bubbles there, right? You like that one? So the first card that I did with this pattern, this layout, was with a lobster. And here's the lobster card. So for you today, like I said, I like to change it up a little bit. I thought I would do the crabs instead. Do you have a favorite? You like the lobster or the crabs? Does it really matter? I think they're just both so cute. What do you think? I like them both. The crabs are kind of cute because it's like they're friends, right? Yeah. So put a little bit of glue on the dimensional. You have okay. Before you press it down your image. Yeah, that's a great idea. Thanks, Barbara. Oh, hi, Barbara. Welcome. Good to see you. We still have to chat. I'm going to give you a call. Hopefully we get some time to chat. All right. So here, like I said, if you don't like the sea, the ocean animals, you can always just do a card with the flip sides of this paper. And this is a swap that I got from Jennifer Walsh. She's from Minnesota. And this is a card that she made with just the pattern side of the designer series paper. And this is a Z fold. And isn't that cute? Okay, so and she used the 3 little iridescent gems there. And she used a little bit of, this is cute on this card too, this golden woven ribbon, which was in the mini catalog. It really gives a nice texture. It would look kind of cute on here too. Even though it's gold, it might look like fishing netting or something like that. But let me try to put this on the back here and you can get a better feel for, better look at what it is. Maybe that's not the right color. Put it on the back of the white. There you go. Now you can see that a little bit better. It's very, very light, so you can make a bow with it very easily. You could just gather it, or like Jennifer did on her card, just kind of fold it in half and tuck it in, and you've got the look of some bulk there, but it's very, very light. And it is easy to make a bow with. I like to do my little bunny ears routine here. So you can get an impressive looking shiny bow, but it's going to be very light and it will lay flat for mailing, which is always one of our concerns, right? Okay, crabs for Marilyn. Absolutely. Absolutely. So I'm glad Elizabeth is on right now because this is the card she made with the same set. Only instead of using the designer paper, she stamped her images. So I want you to see what those images look like stamped because they are a two-tone stamp set, meaning, isn't this adorable card? This is a Z fold also. I love the little pop-up sentiment in here. And here are the little sea stars that are part of the die cut. So stamp with the lighter, and then you go over it with the darker color to outline it, or vice versa. Okay, the order is totally up to you. So you can stamp first with the darker and then fill in with the color. So I'll just show you real quick what that looks like. I'll do a blue crab this time. Okay, we'll click on here. Let's see. So you can see, here's the inside and here's the outline. No, I need the bigger block. Okay. So, yeah, like I said, it really doesn't matter for most cases which one you do. For this one, the background is the whole image. You have very defined edges here. The detail, I would say this is more of the detail. So I would probably think I would want to do this part first and then that. But sometimes if your filler or your background is very light in color, it's a little harder to see to stamp your detail over it. So it can go either way, but you can kind of figure out what works best for you and for that particular stamp set. Right, Elizabeth, which way did you do your card? Did you do the background first and then the detail, or did you do the darker detail first and then fill in with the color? Let's see from the expert, because she did a lot of these cards for swapping it on stage. And I bet right here on this part, she probably did a whole sheet, or maybe not. I don't know, because maybe you'd want that whole lobster there. But you could easily do a whole sheet and, what people call is making your own DSP. Just take a whole sheet of your white and just randomly stamp your images all around it and then just cut them up. So, okay, let's see, you did the background first. Okay, so that's kind of what I was thinking because this is the details and this is going to give us the whole image. Okay, so it looks like to me that you used Pool Party. Yes? Pool Party. And what was your detail? Was it Misty Moonlight? Kind of looks that way. Or was it Night of Navy stamped off? Stamped the whole sheet. Yep. Okay, good. And am I right? Was this pool party? I might do a couple and then you guys can see the difference. Pool party and Night of Navy. All right, cool. I have them here ready to go. Thank you. From the expert herself. I've done it in different colors and it can work nicely that way too. So I just wanted to show you how she got that. All right, so here's Night of Navy. And let me show you close up here. See, that's our background. And you have little specks in there as if they're the highlights. And then these little dots are going to kind of line up with them, with both those little lines rather. Okay, now let's see if I can get this. You do want good lighting. Sometimes if you have shadows, that can kind of get in the way. It's probably best to have like a light on the side or use your phone camera, a light. I don't know. All right, line it up. But if it's not exactly perfect, it's okay. But Elizabeth did a great job on that. All right, look, see, isn't that neat? Really nice. So now another thing you can do if you just want to use one color, you want a little bit darker crab, you can, I'm going to use the Night of Navy just as an example. I might, if I want a darker crab, I might have used something else, like Misty Moonlight perhaps. Let me just grab the scrap paper here. I don't want to dirty my thing. I'll just go underneath. I have layers and layers of grid paper. I'm just going to stamp on my scrap paper once to get some of that color off. And then I will stamp again onto my paper. And now I get a lighter look. Well, that didn't come out so well there, but anyway, I think because it was a little rough under there. But maybe when I go over it with this, it will hide some of that imperfection. Maybe it's just where the crab is crusty, huh? Could be too. They're not perfect, right? Okay, yeah, Semperatius is good for this, Debbie. I was thinking about the same thing. Okay, so there's just a different color crab. It's a little darker and different look. So that's fun. I love the two-step stamping process. And you can also, I did another card with the crab that didn't use this paper, but I actually gave the card away. I'm so bad. I hoard my cards. And then at some point I said, you know what? I do have to give these away. I do have. So it was my neighbor's birthday a week or so ago. So I collected a whole bunch of my cards and made a gift out of it. Gave her a dozen cards, all different. And of course, I had to give her something with the crab. So here's just another idea where I stamped the Calypso Coral, both of them, the detail and the background on Calypso Coral. So it gave a very different look for that too. And this is the crab I used on that other card that I'll show you that uses the Timeless Plaid paper. This here, this is not retiring, which I'm happy to see. So I did some squares, kind of like a patchwork thing with the crab on there like that, and it came out really nice, great for a masculine card. And I did some blue crabs with some of the blue patterns, like blues and greens, and yeah, so like some of those and some of these. Oh, like here, with the blue crab on there, it really makes for a nice masculine card. Okay, so I'm going to do up some more of those and I'll show you what those look like. But I hope you liked what I showed you today. Hope you like these. And if you like them a lot and you need to have it, order it soon because it is retiring. And you know what? Maybe I can do a quick look on my phone at the inventory and see how that is. Love the cards on the crabs. I'll show you a picture of that, Elizabeth. All right, let me just. If you wait 1 minute, I can tell you. Make sure that those are still available. They were yesterday, so I think they might still be. What's everybody up to this week? Anything special? What kind of crafts are you doing? What are you up to? I have to finish some Easter cards. I'll be honest, I'm late. It's one of those things. I have to finish my Easter baskets, like the ones we made last week. I'm going to finish those for my table and fill them. I have the big bag of kisses here, so that's what's going in there. All right, let me see inventory. Well, let me just go to the Ocean Friends. Just put that in the search. And it will come up if it says in red letters, last chance. Well, actually, it's white letters on a red block, pink block. It says last chance, then it's still available. Okay, it is still available, and it doesn't say low inventory, but I wouldn't wait for it to say low inventory. They are not discounted right now, but they are still available. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on a second. Oh, if you're French, the French set is available at a discount. Normally $24, the French set is on sale for $21.60. So if you like the French one, then they are discounted. All right. So all good. Hi, Crystal. You're going to a crop tomorrow. Oh, wonderful. Scrapbooking. To make a couple birthday cards. Oh, great. Oh, that's fun. How long? Is it just a one-day thing, Crystal, or is it a weekend? I have a friend that likes to go to the ones that are like 2 full days, like maybe a Friday and Saturday, and then they leave Sunday morning. But sometimes they pay extra and they can get in Thursday night. So I went once. It was just mostly scrapbooking, but I went with my card. She said, yeah, anybody can go. It was fun. It was, we stayed at the hotel where the event took place and got a lot of cards done. I got to see what other people are doing too. So it really was neat. Yeah. Oh, okay. All right. You're set, Lydia. Well, you had to buy it for your Maryland, right? Had to do that. Was there anything else I wanted to show you? I guess. Yes. I knew there was something else. Okay, so if you're not a fan of the ocean and you want to do this layout and make it utterly adorable, get it? Maybe you like river animals better. Here is the same layout with the utterly amazing stamp set. This is also on the last chance list. Comes with dies as well. And I did the same process. I just die cut these out of the designer paper. I used designer paper for the water instead of embossing because this was one of the sheets in the paper. It already looked like the river, ripples in the river. And I did tear it the same way I did the other one. Now, when you're tearing the designer paper, it does have a whiter core. So you do see that a little bit more. The stones were die cut, from the set. And I use this little, the grass with the little fish swimming by. And then on the inside, I use some of the dies and the fishes there. Do you want to see like the smallest die cuts ever? Ever. I've never seen die cuts this small before. Take a look at this. This is where I use those 2 fish. Okay, this one here, these are actually 2 fish. Looks like a propeller for a plane though, doesn't it? Anyway, it's 2 fish. Like I told you, they're connected for good reason. You usually need more than 1 fish. And That way you can cut 2 at a time, but also makes it a little easier to hold because it's bigger when there's 2. So this is what I did. I just took a fine point marker and made a little eye on there. So that's the size of those fish there. But this little school of fish here, so teeny tiny. Take a look at this. Let me see if I could put something in the background. You can see it. All right, I have a piece of white paper here. Look at that. And they're not connected. They're individual. I don't even know I could get a piece of glue under there. So I would suggest using adhesive sheets, but it would be so hard to peel the back off of that too. So what I was thinking would be the best way to adhere those is to use the press and seal technique. So you're getting a lot of extra tips today, aren't you? Okay, so I don't use press and seal in my kitchen, but I do use it in my craft room. So one side is sticky, the top is not. So the idea is if you're putting it over your plate, your bowl or your plate, whatever, and it'll stick to the plate pretty easily. I'm just going to cut a smaller piece here that can accommodate my fish. I saved this for later. I've actually used the same sheet over and over a few times. It stays sticky pretty well. And, I don't use it a lot, but I've had this roll in here for years. Okay, so I'm going to take the sticky side and I'm going to press it onto those fish. That little one's going astray up there. And that's okay. I'm not going to worry about it. Okay, and then when I pick it up, they all stay attached to the, what's it called? Press and seal. I don't use it a lot, and I don't have to say it either. All right, and then I could put my little dab of glue behind each one. Notice I'm starting with the bigger ones first so that I can just get a smaller amount of glue on the little guys. And also the smaller amount of glue there is, it means it's going to dry quicker. So I'm going to do that. So let me just do it this way. I'm going to glue this here. Maybe this will be the inside of a card later. Let's give that glue a minute to dry. I'll press that down, because once I pull this off, it should stick pretty easily. Peeling it. And then there you go. You're doing them all at the same time rather than trying to hold that little guy and put glue on the back of it. So that's the trick for doing something like that. It's also a good method if you're arranging something. You've arranged, like a bunch of flowers and leaves, and you don't want to take it apart because you're not sure if you're going to get it back the same way. So sometimes I'll lay it out like that and I'll put my press and seal over, and that way I can just glue it from the back and it's all good. So this could make a cute inside of a card with a little fish coming up. All right, now we're done. I hope you have a great weekend. If you have any questions, be in touch with me. I said I would put my email up there, Lorraine at stampwithlorraine.com. Easy enough to remember. Please reach out if you have any questions whatsoever. And Rita, if you are interested in ordering, I appreciate if you choose me as your demonstrator, and I'd be happy to help you with that. All right. So any other questions before we sign off? I'll remind people that on, let me split my screen again. There we go. Okay, on Facebook, even if you're watching the replay, you can add comments. and I could see those after the fact. On YouTube, I cannot see your comments that you put while we're watching the live. I can't go back and see those. I will look through everything now before I close out my software, but I will definitely go back and check all the Facebook. If I didn't answer your question, I can do it then. Otherwise, on YouTube, there is a place for comments. You can always write something there. I check it multiple times a day, and so I should be able to get back to you anytime. All right. Okay, Elizabeth's making baskets. Great. I have to do those too. Oh, thumbs up on all. Thank you. Only mine is there. Oh, yeah, give me some thumbs up. I appreciate that. Some hearts, some love, some thumbs up. If you have not followed or liked my Facebook channel, I appreciate it if you do that too. That really helps me. Take care, Susan. Bye, Lydia. And have a great weekend, everybody. And next week is Good Friday. I think I might be here. Or is that coffee? Or is that Cards for Troops? Anyway, we'll work it out. All right. Stay posted. Have a great weekend. Hugs to everybody. Take care now.